When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, go defense. Defense, gone, defense, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Defense, put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods. Plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds. The hot boys shining. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in.
What's up with you guys?
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Oh, dang, I'm just all over the place. What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live on Facebook. What's up with you, Facebook? You guys come falling in. How you guys doing? Go ahead, get your seats. I'm going to start waving at a couple people. Hey, when I wave at you, make sure you say hi. Make sure you say hi when I wave at you. Say hi, please. Say hi. It only shows. I like the love. I ain't going to lie. I love the love. They say men don't need love. Well, this man needs some love. How we doing this morning, all right? All right, what up with you? What's up with you, Marcy? We won't have Boss Cowboy on the line this morning. He had a job thing he had to take care of. We're both business owners, so with being business owners, Some days you work a lot, and some days you be off. So, but I'm trying to get up. Okay, so bam. So we up. Hey, so we up on Facebook, or at least I think we up on Facebook. We should be up on Facebook by now. But yo, let's go ahead and start this thing off, you guys. Today is going to be an Instagram ran show. I got Instagram. We don't show them nearly as much love as we should, so I got Instagram up, and they've been up for maybe probably about 10 minutes, well, about 5 minutes. And we talk about Kellen Moore. Got you. And so since Instagram came in here and they got all ready and stuff, I said, Instagram, I'm gonna let y'all pick some subjects. And we're going to talk about the subjects y'all want to talk about, because we always give Facebook some love. But don't trip, y'all, because Instagram held y'all down. They got some good subjects. Instagram said Kellen Moore. They want to talk about Kellen Moore. They want to talk about these refs. They want to have an injury update. They want to talk about Jason Garrett. They want to talk about Hot Boys. And they want to talk about coaching decisions, or the lack thereof. All right, so Instagram is kind of cracking this morning. I ain't going to lie. YouTube, it take y'all forever to get on here. So I would love to do a YouTube-based question show, but, you know, it take y'all forever to get on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe the notifications are slow. Maybe y'all got AT&T or something. I don't know. But what up with you, Brandon Moore? So, hey, so let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. It is your boy, West Coast. Hey, my cousin, Boss Cowboy, he'll be on the show later on tonight. Like I said, he has some job stuff to do, but we'll get him on the show later on tonight so you guys can get the other side of the coin. You know, I try to bring one side of the coin. He always tries to bring the other side of the coin. All right, so the first thing we talk about is injury updates, because I think that's probably the first thing we need to kind of talk about. Hey, I need to ask why we ain't sharing. Is we sharing? I got 37 people live on Facebook. 37 of you guys. That means I should have at least 37 shares. Instagram, I know you guys are going to send some people this link or however it works on Instagram. But let's go ahead and talk about the injury update. So this morning I posted on my IG page. Mike Fisher. My boy Mike Fisher posted on his Twitter page, and you know, Fisher, you can might as well say he worked for the Dallas Cowboys. But Mike Fisher posted this on his Instagram this morning on his, let me see if I can get it up. And this was the best injury update as far as our Dallas Cowboys that I've seen. And he says, alert, we're told Amari Cooper quad is in danger of not playing for the Cowboys, and that old tackles Tyron Smith and La'el Collins continue to struggle with their injuries too. Rough deal for Eagles prep. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am preparing for all three of those guys not to play. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If they do not play, Amari Cooper, you will have Michael Gallup sliding up as your number one wide receiver. Tyron Smith will be replaced by Cam Fleming. And La'el Collins will be replaced by Brandon Knight. So those are going to be your replacements. Now, if I'm going to talk about how these guys are going to fare, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not actually as worried about Amari Cooper not being there as I am worried about La'el Collins and Tyron Smith. Like, if you had to ask me a question like West Coast, if you had to let one of these good, if I had the choice between like all the way sitting one person, one guy being like halfway healthy and one guy being at 100% healthy, if I had that choice between those three guys, like one guy, you have to sit him regardless. Another guy can be halfway healthy, and another guy, he can be 100% healthy. This is what I would do. My wish would be that Tyron Smith would be 100% healthy because he protects the backside of Dak Prescott. He protects Dak's crack. You know, I don't know if the last time you guys seen your butt crack. I haven't seen mine, I ain't never seen mine, but he protects Dak Prescott's crack. You know what I'm saying? That slither between his cheeks, that's Tyron Smith because he can't see it. So I mean that would probably be the first person I would want, and then second would probably be La'el Collins, and third would be Amari Cooper. The reason being is because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know it's Tuesday. I know technically I'm still supposed to be watching. I'm still supposed to be watching these. I'm still supposed to be watching these goddamn. I'm trying to figure out how I can get over here in the frame more, because I know it's cutting y'all off bad. But if I had to, these Philadelphia corners are they're trash, man. Like, they're trash. Like, they're literally on like backup corner, like number 3 and 4 on the right hand side. So it's like if you're telling me I'm gonna have Michael Jeezy Baby, and then I'm gonna have Randall Cobb, then I'm gonna have Tavon Austin, the 5'10" goon who catches ball tall like he's 6'11". I think I'm gonna be okay. And like if I have to match up my wide receiver core versus their DB core, I'm still going to take the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver core over their DB core because, like I said, man, everything that they have done at the cornerback position has not worked. Either, Douglas is still recuperating. His ankle still ain't right from Amari Cooper breaking him. You know what I'm saying? And then your other guy on the other end, he's giving up mad butt. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to say right now, I would obviously want Amari Cooper to play. Why? Because I seen the effects that he had in all those other games. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would out of these three, if I could have two of these guys play, it would be both my tackles. Why? Because I know number 55, that boy, what's his name, Douglas. I know he's gonna be screaming coming off that end. You know what I'm saying? So they are going to be getting some pressure. Now, you got to remember the Eagles' defensive end, Connor Barlow, he actually retired 2 days ago. So, I don't know how much that's going to affect their defensive line. But I still feel like the Dallas Cowboys should still be okay, with Amari Cooper out, simply because the Eagles' secondary is not good. You know what I'm saying? It has not been good. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, I still think that the Dallas Cowboys should be able to ground and pound and still do the things that they want to do. So that's kind of the injury report. I'm gonna be also. Let me give you some updates on these tackles. Cam Fleming actually played well. I know a lot of you guys kind of live your life in a bubble, and if we don't win the game, nobody played well. Like, it's funny because I'm gonna tell you, like, if the Cowboys don't win, no matter what happens, three things always happen. It's almost like a cheat. It's almost like when a woman breaks up with a man. When a woman breaks up with a man, there's always three things she says about a man when she's talking to her ex. And I'm just being real, so don't get mad if I say this, but. There's three things that an angry woman always says about a man. She either say his sex game wasn't good, he had a little penis, or he gay. Or they may say he had an STD, he gave, you know what I'm saying? There's always certain lies that come out behind every man that gets broken up in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you, there are certain lies that come out of every single game, no matter what happened, no matter if it was totally on this person or totally on that person. There are always three things that come out of every game that I've noticed from whenever we lose. That is, Dak Prescott sucks, obviously, because he always sucks in losses. Jason Garrett should be fired. And where's DeMarcus Lawrence? Those are the three narratives that come out of every loss. No matter what happens. You know what I'm saying? It can be totally on something else, but those are the three narratives that come out of every single game. And the funny thing I love about it is, even if those narratives actually happen in a win, nobody cares because we won the game. Like, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? So, this is my thought. We're gonna switch off into Jason Garrett because I know a lot of you guys are wanting to know about Jason Garrett, right? You guys already kind of know my thoughts on Jason Garrett, and my thoughts are this. I am more concerned with winning a Super Bowl this year. I saw a Giants team that was really bad, that lost 5 games in one season in a row, that turned around and went and won the Super Bowl. You want to know why? Because they got hot. The Giants are the only team that were 9-7. 2 teams that were 9-7 turned it around, got hot, and won a Super Bowl. So, unlike some of you guys, I'm not financially able to just be like, F this season. We're just gonna fire the coach and pack it in. Hell no. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Shout out to the sponsors, Cowboys Packages, because they do be hooking it up, man. They take care of your boy in the hotel. They take care of your boy on my games. They make sure your boy at West Coast is set up straight. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, they don't pay for every goddamn thing. So that's a lot of money and a lot of stuff and a lot of energy and a lot of kissing on my babies and missing my kids for me in week 6 to just be like, oh, we just gonna fire the coach and throw the towel in. Like, slap yourself. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I always ask this question: when you want to fire a coach in the NFL in the middle of the season, do you want to fire that said coach more than you want to turn the season around? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and shout out to Thank God for Kush. You salute that. But I'm going to tell you guys this right here. I have more faith in this team turning it around than I do them just laying up lame ducks. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, Jerry Jones has shown you guys that he will continue to try to do what he has to do to get this season going. I'm going to tell you why. Amari Cooper. We were 3-5. I'm going to ask you guys a question right now. For all y'all folks that say, Jerry Jones don't want to win, this organization doesn't want to win, they don't care about us. Tell me how many 3-5 teams give up their first round pick. Think about this, right? Think of how much of a risk it was to even bring in Amari Cooper. Because what if this? What if it didn't work out with Amari Cooper? Like, what if it didn't work out? Then guess what happens? You're still a bad team, and now you're a bad team without a first-round draft pick. So imagine if that happens. So that's why I say, that's why I'm sorry, man. I just can't get in my feelings and be like, they don't care about the team. They don't care. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Do I believe that humans make human errors? Absolutely, I do. I do. This morning, I left my keys from my car in my wife's car, and she drove all the way to work. And guess what? She had to clock out and drive all the way back home and give me my keys. You want to know why? Because I made a mistake. Human error. It happens. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm not going to do. I'm not gonna say, oh, just stay at work and keep my keys. Now I can't do nothing all day. You know what I'm saying? No. You make errors, you fix them. You know what I'm saying? But you just don't torch the whole day. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Think about this. Last year, at this exact point, guess what our record was? 3-3. Like, 3-3 last week. We were 3-3. So I'm not trying to be Aaron Rodgers. Y'all know I can't stand Aaron Rodgers more as I can't stand Philadelphia fans. But I think some of you guys really need to relax. Because firing your head coach is going to doom your season. And guess what? In 2 weeks, when we're still having the same problems, then guess what? You're still going to be, now you're just going to be running around punching yourself in the head because you don't know what the hell to do. Me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am more about getting the problem fixed. Let me give you an example. In my house, when something is broken, Dad is like, what do we need to do to get it fixed? If I already know who broke it, I'm going to just discipline them. That's it. And then I'm going to get it fixed. My wife, she wants to sit down. She wants to talk about it. She wants to understand why it got broke. She wants to know why it got broke. She wants to know why, when you were thinking about breaking it, why didn't you think to do something else? Like me, I don't care about that. I don't care about none of that. I care about fixing the actual problem. Fixing the actual problem is what? Getting a defensive tackle. If you want to feel good, if you want to feel like we got us one, fire the head coach. But you're still going to have the exact same problem. Still going to have the exact same problem. My boy said you could have caught an Uber to her job $75 later. And then how am I going to get back home? That means I got to catch a tour job and then $75 back home. You know what I'm saying? I kind of lost where I was going, but that's kind of like where my bad. I was you were right. You know, I was just looking at that, but yeah, man. Talking about Jason Garrett, man. Back on Jason Garrett, but if you want to fix, like, that's why I'm asking you guys: do you want to appease yourself? Do you want to feel good, or do you want your team to play better? Because this might be a situation where you might not be able to have both. Like, your feelings, like you may not like the fact that Jason Garrett's your head coach. But at the exact same time, do you want to torch your season? No. And then also at the same time, like, I also believe that we should be upset with who you should be upset. Like, if Jason Garrett is warranted his due anger, then give it to him. But my question is why did you have so much faith in an offensive coordinator who has never called plays in the NFL? Like, I'm going to ask you guys that question. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, for all y'all people that keep saying we have the same problem from 2010. No, we didn't. That's a lie. Like, when I hear that type of stuff, that's people who don't know their team. In the last 10 years, we have not. 2007, what was our record? We were 13-3. Like, you guys are looking at we haven't even gotten to week 7, and you guys up here projecting the whole season. Like, that's what I be saying. Like, some of y'all are just way too smart for your own. Like, you're just so smart and so wrapped up that you honestly think that you can predict the future. Like, you were like, but look what we did in 10 years. Like, I don't give a damn what we did 10 years. None of the factors are the same. Like, I don't use none of that in my thought process. You want to know why? Because I'm not looking. My thing is this. Why would I judge this team on 10 years of production? Is the Philadelphia Eagles watching film from the Dallas Cowboys from 10 years ago? No, they're not. That not. Like that, they're not. So that's why I don't get caught up in all this. Oh, 10 years ago, 11 years. How many years did it take Bill Belichick to win his first Super Bowl? Go look. Go look. How many years has it taken for Sean McVay to win his first Super Bowl? Oh yeah, he ain't won one. Okay. Like all these coaches that you guys say that you want, like, name me a coach. Like, and we didn't go 1-13, so Williams, I'm gonna need you to slap yourself. So I need to know. I don't know, like, Jason Garrett is Jason Garrett, but I'm gonna tell you this: Jason Garrett is not Kellen Moore. So you want to fix your team, right? There's no way we're firing Jason Garrett, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even probably gonna talk about that anymore because I don't talk about unicorns on my show. The reason why I don't talk about unicorns is because they're mythical. They're mythical. So I'm not going to talk about or even invest no time in even looking for a coach. You want to know why? Because why? You should be investing this time looking at the Eagles. Because this is what's going to happen. We're going to talk all this crap about firing your coach and all this dysfunction, and guess what? Tuesday's coming. Oh, Tuesday's here. Then what's going to happen? Wednesday's coming. Oh, Wednesday's tomorrow. Then guess what's happening? Thursday's going to come. And then what's going to happen? Friday, West Coast's going to be on a plane. Saturday morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be like, what up? I'm in Dallas. And y'all going to be like, oh, shit, we play the Eagles tomorrow. Oh, let me forget about that. Nah, no. That's NFL season, man. What happened last week happened. Today's the last day we're going to talk about it. We're going to move on. Like, that's just what it is. If you want to fix your problem, let's talk about fixing our problem. Our problems on the football field. Hiring a head coach is not going to fix your problems on that field. Not. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I ain't never played in the NFL, but I played football some pretty high levels. Me and my boy Boss Cowboy have both played some pretty high levels football, right? And this is one thing I know about playing at any level, especially when you're getting paid. All this, oh, they're not inspired. What? I'm going to tell you guys right now. If a dude making $14 million a year doesn't get inspired to go out and do his job, nothing will. Nothing will. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know we want to feel like players play harder in the Super Bowl or they want it more, but they all want it. I remember when my little brother was his first year at UCLA. I asked my little brother, I said, yo, I remember I asked him his first year, I said, hey, how many of these dudes trying to go to the NFL? You know what my little brother says? He looks at me, he's like, all of us. Like all of us. Like every last one of us thinks that we have an opportunity. So it's like, that's why I be saying, like, to even have that type of thought process, it's incorrect. It's an incorrect type of thought process. You know what I'm saying? What we need to be thinking about is how to fix our football problems. That's what we need to think about. How to fix our football problems. So let's jump into that. Now that I didn't got the Jason Garrett out the way and the injury reports out the way. All right, let me see. Hey, and let me put this disclaimer out there too. Hey, I'll fire a coach in February. I have no problem firing a coach in February. Like I have no problem firing a coach in February. Like I'll make a whole nother video at the end of the season. Like I have no problem firing a coach in February. I have no problem firing a coach in March. I have no problem in firing a coach in April, June, July. Don't have it. Don't have a problem with it. July, probably have a problem with it. Want to know why? Because that is the time of the season where you're supposed to be looking for a new coach. If you're firing your coach in the middle of the season, that means you wasted your whole offseason. Remember, who told y'all that this might come back to hurt us? Okay, so let's get on to our next subject. We're going to talk about some football now. Now we got all that other stuff out the way. All right? Let's read some comments off, though, while I try to figure out why half my head is only showing on here, though. Let me see if I can zoom, make this a little bit. Hey, y'all see my meet and greet I'm going to be at? I'm going to have Jalen Smith this week. I'm going to have Antoine Woods, the big homie, man. You already know what it is, man. Shout out to Antoine Woods for always showing your boy West Coast love. And shout out to Jalen Smith for always showing your boy love. If you guys want to come out and see West Coast and see your favorite defensive players. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Some of this crap y'all be talking, some of this stuff y'all be asking, well, why Jalen Smith they doing this? Why? Well, big man, since you want to call them not hot boys, come out on October 19th. Come out October 19th and ask your players. Because this is one thing I love about my show is I'm the type of guy that's going to talk about these guys. positive or negative, and then I'm going to be in their face and ask them the exact same question. Byron Jones, I've been talking about him for 9 months. Bro, why the heck, why we ain't getting interceptions? And guess what? When I saw Byron Jones, the first thing that came out of my mouth, bruh, what we going to do to get our hands on the ball more? I need y'all to be more like West Coast. When you see your favorite Cowboy fan, don't be, oh, can I get an argument? No. Ask them. Ask them. Hey, bruh, why you not playing? Hey, bruh, what's going on in them trap blocks? You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about some football now, right? I'm getting on some, what else? What's up with you, Renell? My boy Renell said hey, Renell, you going to be there, right? I already know he going to be there. He already told me he going to be in the house. What's up with you, Gregory? He said he can't wait. Karen says, man, they don't need to be doing no meet and greets. That's the problem. They need to be practicing. Are you watching film? Carrie, I'm about to actually correct you because that is absolutely the wrong way to think. Do you work every single minute of your day at your job? Like, how are you, my question to you right now is, how are you watching my show right now if you have a job? Like, don't put expectations on these players that you can't put on yourself. So these players have time off just like they do. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, a player living and dying on a field, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be beneficial to his family, right? So if his family's not right, how are they going to be right? And then don't players still isn't there still what's called a CBA that requires that they have days off just like a human being? So now are players required to never have days off or time off? How is that beneficial to anybody? Like, are NFL players just made to basically just like play football and only do that in their life? Like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that a player has a right to be off at some point too. I don't think Jason Garrett wants to be coaching 24 hours, 24/7. And then my question is, when you do, and if you're doing that, when do you have a time off? When do you have time for yourself? Like, when do you do that? And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you look at the time that they put in, bro, they do practice a lot. They do practice a lot. They have practice in the morning. They have film right after film. After that, they have lunch. They have nutrition. Like everything. They're working like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got it on film, right? I asked my boy Travis Fredericks last year. I interviewed Travis Fredericks last year. I said, Travis Frederick, you think that you would ever want to be a coach? This is when he was hurt. He says, heck no. I said, why? He said, man, he's like, we already put enough time in as players. And he was like, and now I see with coaches, the time they put in. Travis Frederick is like, no. He's like, no. He's like, I'm getting a look at it right now, and that's not something I want. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to address that comment real quick. But yeah, to be honest with you, man, these players deserve to have times off. Like, they were not born to only just be on a football field. Like, come on, man. That's not even realistic. You know what I'm saying? But back on this defense, how good does your car run? How good does your car run? How good does your car run without an engine? That's what I know. Thank God for Kush says millions of dollars to play 6-7 months out of the year, staying in shape. Give me that job right now. Well, thank God for Kush. Guess what? If you are good enough in football, you can get that job, because that's the number one narrative that people have with football players is you think that someone just gave them that job. Like I just gave you this piece of paper. No, bro. They worked hard for that job. That's the biggest misconception that people have, is that someone just gave them that job. No, bruh. No one gave them that job. They worked very hard at that job. You know what I'm saying? So when you work hard for things, you get things. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. And the NFL season is longer than 9 months. And I'm going to be honest with you, if any NFL player is not working out 12 months out of the year, they are probably not in the NFL very, very long. Like, that's just being real. Like, that's just being real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we that's just being real. But yo, back on this defense. But there's some thoughts that I see out in the media. Hey, and if I challenge your thought, it's all love. That means just know this: if you said something that I disagree, know the fact that West Coast got enough love for you and respect for you commenting on my show to at least correct you, right? You know what I'm saying? My pastor tells me, you know what I'm saying, you know a man by how they give correction and how they receive correction. One thing I always try to do is when people say, West Coast, you're not doing this right, and instead of telling them, say, shut up and get up out my inbox, I at least try to listen. My scouts will tell me, because my scouts tell me when I'm not doing wrong, what I'm doing wrong all the time. One told me this morning, West Coast, didn't you say? I said, yes, bro. I said I was going to focus on getting on the shows on time way better. And that's all I needed to do. I'm getting on live right now. Shout out to Tony P. No, I'm just playing with you. Hey, Tony P be on my head, though. I ain't going to lie. Jesse Holly, my boy. Okay, so back to my analogy on the car, right? Like, I'm not trying to fix management. I'm not even trying to get it where everybody likes each other or everybody hangs out. I can give a damn about that. I heard that Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan didn't even hang out with each other until after the third championship. Why? Because really, really good players who are really, really focused are hard to be around. I'm going to be honest with you. I am a hard person to be around if you are not trying to think about and talk about Cowboys all the time, because that's pretty much all I do. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine being friends with Kobe and all the hell he want to do is just go shoot jump shots. Like, Kobe, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I'm saying? Dez Bryant made a complaint about Tony Romo. He said, man, Tony Romo and them practiced that backside fade so many times that at one point Dez straight up told Tony, like, bro, are we going to do anything else? You know what I'm saying? Like, repetition is the telltale for that. But yo, man, if my BMW cannot move without an engine, I want to know, how does your defense, which is foundation on a defensive line, how does that move without a defensive tackle? Answer that question. Wendy's, let's just look at Terrell Johnson. Let me look at that. He says, West Coast, what's the move this Saturday? It'll be Saturday. It's Dallas I'll be in Dallas for the game Sunday, and my wife and anniversary. Well, first off, if you're trying to get in the Miller Lite Zone, I got you. Inbox me. And then also, I'm having my meet and greet with Jalen Smith and Antoine Woods on Saturday. So Saturday from 3:00. You just come out, inbox me, and I'll get you some information. You said my voice is sounding low today. Hey, it's not nothing on me. If anything, it's probably like the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T. They threw away my damn selfie stick, so I ain't got my selfie stick no more. So, but I got Terrell's comment that the information's right there to the right. But yo, question, and can anybody answer my question? Anybody answer my question? How effective can you be stopping anything if a team is able to run the ball up? I'm gonna be honest with you, DB's turning up, you're turning the head. That's secondary. Like, that's secondary. Because if your DBs are playing well, the ball's gonna come out faster anyway. And they should have more opportunity to intercept the ball. Everything starts with your defensive line. Just like everything starts. Like, think about this. If everything on an offense starts with the offensive line, why would you not think that everything on the defense starts with the defensive line? Like, think about this. Our offensive line takes up 37% of our cap. So we have 100% of money that we can spend. 37 of it is being allocated to the offensive line. So that lets me know that if you don't put as much thought into your offensive line as you do your defensive line, or vice versa, you can have a lot of problems. And I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, we are having problems. Why? Because Antoine Wood is probably only at 80%. After 3 plays, my boy was already bringing himself out. And be honest with you, that's realistic. Why? Because he was hurt for 3 weeks. Then you have Chris Covington, who is an average player at best. But guess what? Him playing 60 snaps makes him a below average player. You have Tyrone Crawford, who's playing with an injury. Just got him back 2 weeks ago. You got Kerry Hyder, who I assumed was going to be one of your defensive ends, but because you don't have Randy Gregory a tackle, he's now playing defensive end, which I had no thought that he was even going to do. And to be honest with you, he is built to start the run. So you have so much out of place. Think about this. You even have D-Law playing on the opposite side. Why? Because you don't have another defensive end that's being effective. Tristan Hill, the guy who you thought you draft to fix all your upfront problems, you can't even say he's garbage. You want to know why? Because he doesn't play. You gotta stop you gotta play to be garbage. You know what I'm saying? So he can't even be garbage because he don't play. You know what I'm saying? Now, my boy Kerry says, so if we don't get a DT this week, that can play what do we do. To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you what you're doing. You guys aren't going to like the answer, but you hold on for dear life. That's what the hell you do. Like, honestly, if you're in a boat in the middle of the ocean, right, and there's a hole in the middle of your boat, you're just not going to imaginarily just imagine some Flex Seal and it's just going to seal it. No, your ass is going to sink. Or you're going to lay your whole stomach on that mom and hope that you can ride that mom as close as you can, and then you won't necessarily need it because then you can just get out the boat and just swim to the island. Like, that's what you need. Like, that's what you need. To be honest with you, like, there is, like, what I don't like in the Cowboy Nation is when, okay, I got you. What I don't like on the Cowboy Nation is when we will be like, oh, we don't have a DT. Okay, so this is what we'll do. We'll just slide West Coast in there at DT, and then he'll be good. And then when I suck, y'all be like, well, this West Coast suck, man. Well, no, bro. Like, you got to have the proper pieces. Like, if you don't have the proper pieces, what happens? Like, it's not going to drive right. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to drive right. This is what's going to happen. If you take a part off my car, guess what? It might start, it might go, but it ain't going to drive right. Like, you got to fill those gaps. The only thing that we can really hope for this Philadelphia game is one or two things. One, Philly didn't watch the film, and I'm sorry, but I believe they did. Or you hope that one of your D tackles just flat out plays better. But there is no magic cure. Like, there is no magic pixie dust that we can sprinkle on our defensive line and then they magically start playing better. Because it's not play. It is injuries. It is the bodies. We don't physically have the bodies. Just like in the Rams game. I said this in the Rams game. What did I say? I say, yo, people are like, oh, where was the hot boys at? Well, let me tell you. D-Law got banged up in the third quarter. Antoine Woods left the game on the third play. Remember, he tore his labrum. And then you put in Karan Reed, who was on the practice squad just a week before that. That's what happened, and we lost. Like, we lost. That's just what happened. Like, that's what happened. We didn't have the bodies. We couldn't stop the run, and we lost. But you guys know I like to give you guys a little hope, right? I'm going to give you a little hope. If the Dallas Cowboys aren't bringing in the D tackle this week, right? So this is something you can do. Let me tell you what you can do. This is how you help your defense. By one, limiting how often they're on the field. First thing you do. Offense. You got to have longer drives. What I mean by longer drives is if you know that you have bad defensive line play in the middle, you have to put yourself in a position that your defense really isn't on the field. Like, to be honest with you, 2016, our defense wasn't really good, but the fact that made them so good is they really didn't play a lot. Secondly, the offense has to freaking score, man. And to be honest with you, they got to score on that first drive. Yeah, I'm about to make a video on this. But your offense has to score on the first drive. Because what happens when the offense scores on the first drive is now the opposing team is behind. And any game plan that they had kind of goes out the window, especially if you're down early. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing we got to do is we got to score. We got to long drives. Long 15 to 16 play drives. Running the ball. Long drives. Also, the reason why you want to do long drives also with running the ball is because, your two tackles aren't playing. So why are you going to have Dak Prescott dropping back 5-7 yards? Like, that's idiotic. Anybody that's up here saying, we need to throw the ball more, Dak needs to throw the ball more. How the hell you want Dak to throw the ball and he ain't got no left tackle or no right tackle? That's dumb. Like, that's dumb. And to be honest with you, I hear all these people that saying, oh, we got to stop being predictable. I'll be honest with you, there is no predictable play calling. It's only predictable when it don't work. Like, every NFL team is predictable in some way. You want to know why? Because they're not imaginarily making plays on the fly. If you do your team, every team should be predictable. It's just a matter of, can you stop it? In 2016, we ran on first down 73% of the time. That's a fact. We ran in 2016 on 73% of the time. That's a fact. And guess what? It was effective. You want to know why? Because they couldn't stop it. Like, I don't need this spontaneous play calling. Like, I be watching the Chiefs, and I've watched enough football where I'm going to be honest with you, and I know I don't watch as much football as someone who's being paid to stop you watches football. And I watch a lot of football, but I know I don't watch that much. So someone who's getting paid to stop you, bro, all that mess is predictable. Oh, that's the man. Come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna come out there with 9 wide receivers and something we ain't seen before. You're either gonna have 5 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers, 2 wide receivers. That's it. Nobody really runs 1 wide receiver set anymore. But there's like 4 things you can do with an offense. Or you can put them even with the 4 wide receivers. You're either gonna put them in a shotgun or not shotgun. Like, it doesn't get not more predictable than that. It's just a matter of, can you execute what you are doing? Now, I will say this. We can definitely stop being so predictable on downs. Like, 3rd down, definitely. Definitely. We can definitely be less predictable on 3rd down. But when you're paying Ezekiel Elliott $90 million and 37% of your cap is going to the offensive line, bro, that tells me what you're going to do. You're going to be running the ball. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, the muchos dineros is always going to tell you your scheme. Like, I don't give a damn what you say. Look at this. Look at who's getting paid the most money. That's going to tell you what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a team has a D tackle that's making more than a defensive end, guess what? They want to stop the run more than they want to stop the pass. And that's realistic. Like, that's just, like, I'm trying to break this to you, but that's just real. Something we got to do. We got to keep these drives, long drives. Long drives. Long drives. I'm talking about 15 to 17 yard plays. 17 plays. 15 to 16 yard long plays. That's what you got. That's the first thing. 15 to 16 play drives. That's what I mean. Drives. I'm sorry. Second thing we need to start doing also is, and this is something that Tony Romo used to do phenomenally. Dak needs to stop hiking the ball with freaking 15 seconds left on the damn clock. Like, bruh, take as much time as you can to see what the hell is going on. Like, Tony Romo would literally hike the ball at 2. Like, take as much time as you possibly want to. Also, what does that do? That lets the clock go down. Something that someone said in the comment thread was this. We have to what? Control the clock. How do you control the clock? You can only control the clock by running. You cannot control the clock by passing the ball because there's too many variables. I know so many of you guys just want Dak Prescott to just go out there and just slang it like crack rock and just prove the whole world wrong and prove you right that you was right. Well, guess what? He's going to do that over his career, not in one game. Because Dak throwing the ball 40 times is not a recipe for the Dallas Cowboys to win games. And that's factual. That's not what you want from your quarterback. That's not factual. The best way, we're talking about to help our defense right now. First, long drive. Second, time of possession. Time of possession. That's another way that you can control. Why? Because you got to think, their defense is on the field. You want them to be trying to get their offense on the field. Because I'm going to be honest with you, unless it's the Patriots offense who's just scoring like a mug, most of these defenses can't score. And most of them can't even get their hands on the ball. So if you're leaving their defense on the field, that's giving what? That's making your defense only have to defend the run on maybe 6 drives. Like, think about this. In the Packers game, we gave Aaron Rodgers 13 drives to score. 13. 13. 13. 13. 13. We gave Aaron Rodgers 13 possessions to score. 13. Think about this. I love Dak Prescott, but if you told me right now, Dak Prescott, you have 13 times the score. Aaron Rodgers, you have 13 times the score. Aaron Rodgers won every day. If you had to ask Aaron Rodgers, you cannot give a team 13 times the score. I mean, bruh, any team. We gave the Jets 11 times the score. 11. That's 11 different possessions your defense has to defend. That's ridiculous. In 2016, you know how many possessions our offense was a team's offense was averaging against us? 7. Think about this. 7 possessions. So basically, I'm going to tell you what the Cowboys defense was doing. We were basically holding the ball so long in the first quarter that you only got the ball one time. And then they would get the ball 2 more times each quarter. And that was the game. And that was the game. So, you want to help your defense? Stop putting them on the damn field so much. How do you stop putting them on the damn fields? Long, methodical drives. And then when we get these long, methodical drives, we must score. For the third game in a row. And I'm going to be honest with you, I stopped listening to people when people say, oh, it's not Dak's fault. I'm like, well, he do touch the ball every time. I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying it's not none of his fault, but I'm saying is you was in the car too. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying right here. This is the third game in a row where we have gone down the field on our first drive and did not score. And guess what? This is the third game in a row where we lost. There is a totally different mentality when a team is down. There's a totally different mentality when a team is down. When we let this bad team, the New York Football Jets, get up on the Dallas Cowboys, you know what we did? We allowed them to have something that they hadn't had all year. And you know what that was? Faith. We gave them faith. That's what we did to a bad team. We gave them faith. Why? Because guess what? Every game that the Jets had played up to that point, they were down. Think about this. Philadelphia had them down 14-0 in the first quarter. So guess what? If we would have scored on our opening drive, you know what the Jets say? Hey guys, we tried. We're down again. We're just going to lose. Like, that's what a bad team does. When a bad team gets down, and they're used to being down, you know what they do? They give up. That's why they're a bad team. The reason why they had hope in that game is because we went down on 2 consecutive drives in the first quarter and did not get no points. So you know what this team is saying? Oh my God, we might have us one. We might just have us one. In every other game that the Jets played, they were already losing by the end of the first quarter. Like I said, Philadelphia had them down 14-0. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't believe in sparks and this person. Man, Sam Darnold didn't do nothing no different than what he's ever done in any other game. Nothing. I don't believe in sparks and chemistry and emotion. I don't believe in none of that crap. All that stuff is stuff fans say when you're watching it from the TV. When you actually played in the sport, man, it's not how it works. Like, that's not how players don't play. I know people try to say, oh, players will play harder. Nah, players going to play hard if it's in them regardless. Like, if you're a lazy player, you're going to be a lazy player wherever you go. And Donovan Sue, he's a great player, but guess what? He has flaws that follow him everywhere he goes. Antonio Brown, great football player, but guess what? His problems follow him everywhere you go. If you are a good player, if you practice hard, someone can bring that out of you. But if you're a good player and you don't practice hard, ain't nobody bringing that out of you. Because that's you, bruh. That's you. I used to tell my sales reps, like, yo, I can't coach you, to be honest. If your mama couldn't do it in 18, 19 years, I'm not doing it in 8 hours in a day. I can't do it. It's not enough. Don't know it. You know what I'm saying? But Kerry says, what's your thoughts on D-Law? And I know that's your boy, but hey, can I ask you a question? Can y'all please stop disrespecting me when y'all say that, oh, what's your thoughts on this guy? Because I know that's your boy. Like, stop disrespecting West Coast when you ask me questions like that. Because when people ask me questions like that, that makes me feel that, like, you guys feel that someone can't be my friend and me still give an honest opinion. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, you shouldn't listen to a blogger like that because I love all my Cowboys. But guess what? I'm the same guy that was beating the hell out of Dak Prescott when he was 3-5 last year, too. I'm always going to keep that real and that uncut. But at the same time, man, like, you also have to believe me when I say that the Hot Boys aren't playing like Hot Boys because they need a D tackle. I tell you guys they're not playing like the Hot Boys, and you guys call it an excuse. That's just what it is. It's not an excuse. It's a factual evidence. If you take the engine out of my car, right now, it will not start. No matter how good it is, even if I make the payment, it's still not going to start. Why? Because there is an internal problem. The internal problem with the Dallas Cowboys right now, two things. Your D tackle. We're getting gutted up the middle. You guys don't know that, like, can I ask you guys a question? Let's think about our last 5 bad losses. Indianapolis. How did Indianapolis beat us? 21-0. Oh, they ran up the middle? Oh, okay. How did the Rams beat us? Oh, they ran up the middle with CJ Anderson? I forgot I was live for a minute. Yeah, they ran up the middle with CJ Anderson. Okay, that's what's up. How did Green Bay beat you? Their running back who only had 19 yards the week before and 20 yards the week before that. Think about this. Adam Jones or Aaron Jones, whatever his name is, he only had 40 yards in 2 games before he played the Dallas Cowboys. He only had 40 yards. Then he played the Dallas Cowboys. How did we lose to the Jets? No. Jones, I'm going to be honest with you, who beat us in these games? Their offensive coordinator. What's up, Mike Nugent? The offensive coordinator beat us because the offensive coordinator was smart enough to see that the Dallas Cowboys had a weakness and they just exploited it. That's what they did. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was not the passing game that opened up the running game for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers only threw like 24 passes. And to be honest with you, he threw most of those in the second half. He had only attempted like 6 passes in the first half. That was all running. And to be honest, my boy Boss Cowboy says he thinks that D-Law is playing through something and needs a kick in there. To be honest with you, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's playing through something, but to keep it real, I think it's exactly what I had a really good conversation with one of my hot boys at that after that last loss. And to be honest with you, everything that I'm echoing is what's been told to me. To be honest with you, and it's funny because I'll tell you guys stuff that's because I'm close to the situation, and you guys say, "Oh no, West Coast, you don't know what you're talking about." But I'm gonna be honest with you, these hot boys, that's what they're yelling. We need a D tackle. Like our D tackles are banged up, and not only the ones that are banged up, but guess what? We rotate a lot. You know what I'm saying? So we need that. So it's like you can't overlook the fact that it'd be funny because they'd be like, "Oh, West Coast, you're so close to this defense that you won't tell the truth." But guess what? I'm also very close to this defense that I can also know the truth. And the truth is, we need a D tackle. That's what it is. We need a D tackle. Someone says, "Do you think your season is over, or do we have any chance?" Yes, come on, man. The season is not over. All right, every team plans for Aaron Rodgers not turning over the ball because, that's pretty much what he does. How did the Jets beat us? They killed us in the secondary. Well, they killed us in the secondary because they established the run up the middle first. See, this is what you guys got to remember. Once the gut is established and we understand that you can run it up the middle, you can actually stop and just fake it up the middle. And guess what? We still have to respect it. That's what I can expect. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, it's funny because people say because D-Law got paid, he's supposed to just be able to overcome anything. Well, to be honest with you, the fact that he got paid lets you know that also lets you know that what? He's one of the better NFL players in the league. So what do teams do to better players in the NFL? Like, that's the thing that I be thinking, like, since D-Law got paid as one of the better defensive ends, do you think that teams now scheme him more or scheme him less? Like, since he's gotten paid, do you think he's seeing more defense, more double team now that he's gotten paid and we have announced that he's one of the better players on our team? Have you noticed that all the players who had a really good season last year are kind of struggling? You want to know why? Because of this thing, imaginary thing called FILM. Once the FILM on you is out, guess what? Your job is harder. I think DeMarcus Lawrence will be better in the second half of the season. I'm going to be honest with you because I believe that by the second half of the season, he will understand how to adjust to getting double teamed on every play and still being effective. And if you don't believe me, how is Aaron Donald playing right now? Yeah, they're making plays, but how? Aaron Donald just said 2 weeks ago that he has to figure out a way to get himself going. So don't try to play me on that. Aaron Donald said himself. He said himself. Aaron Donald said himself, I got to figure out a way to get myself going. That's what Aaron Donald said. And to be honest with you, DeMarcus Lawrence is double teamed as of right now. As of last week, as a Jets game was 37%. I've looked at the Jets game, and to be honest with you, you know he's getting double teamed. How do you think that Robert Quinn is getting free sacks? Like, let's just be real, right? There's 5 people on the offensive line. There's only 4 on the defensive line, right? Let me, because I know that there's people that still say, regardless of that he should get sacks. Well, guess what? When your car breaks down, I'm going to be that manager that says, regardless of that, pick your car up and walk it into work. You know what I'm saying? Since we're going to be people who, regardless of the circumstances, still going to make, you still got to, no. All right, so I'm going to draw this up for you guys right now. Offensive line, the center is always a square, so you guys will know. We run a 4-3. That means there's only 4 down linemen. All right. This is how it works, right? Now, D-Law is going to be right here. Quinn is going to be right here. Kerry, I'm going to be like, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. For anybody who says the film, show me the film. Inbox me right now. Because what I like to hear, what I notice about people is people say the film, but they won't actually show you the film. Show me the film. That's all I got to say. Show me the film that you're looking at. Because the film that I'm showing, this is what it shows. All right? But if you have film that shows that, shoot it. That's all I'm saying. But what I'm saying also is don't sit up here knowing that you have not went on all 22 and have not looked at it and say that that's not happening. Because I have. I'm just being real. So if you saw it, this is my thing. For everybody who saw it, send it to West Coast. And I need everybody to put in the comments, send it to West Coast. If you've seen it, send it to West Coast. That's all I'm asking. All right, because this is the thing about West Coast. Anything I see, I show you. Like, I'm about to do a video. I got a film that's hot already, ready and made. And I'm going over what happened on that deep touchdown pass when we were in cover 3. That should have never happened. Like, that should have never happened. That touchdown, the deep touchdown to Anderson should have never happened. We were in cover 3 deep safeties. Should have never happened. Should have never happened. And I'm going to do film on it. I'm going to do the film. I'm going to do film on it. But this is what I'm going to show you right here. This is what teams are doing to D-Law right now. They are doing what's a kick out, right? They're doing a guard press right here and a kick right here. So when they slide, your tackle is shooting the center because he's trying to get containment right here, right? I don't know if everybody can see this. You have this guard and this tackle both shooting on DeMarcus Lawrence right here. You want to know why? Because he makes $30 million. But guess what, guys? When that happens, guess what? That guy's left there, he's left here, and guess what Quinn is left? Wide open. He's wide open, man. Go look at Robert Quinn's sacks from the Jets game. Go look at Robert Quinn's sack from, and I'm not knocking Robert Quinn because that's his job. Like, did you guys notice that DeMarcus Lawrence started off the season ridiculously hot last year? Then about week 10, it kind of slowed down, and then Randy Gregory got 7 sacks out of nowhere? Did you guys notice that? You want to know why that happened? It's because by week 9, teams figured out that, yeah, you got to double team D-Law. And then guess what happened? Randy Gregory started eating like a mug. He got 7 sacks. Randy Gregory got 7 sacks off of the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence was double teamed. That's just being real. This is what I was showing, guys. This is what I was showing. I know it can't really see it good. I know it can't see good. I apologize. So, that's I've been yelling this for a long time. Like, one thing that I love about this team is it's called applied pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, like, that's one thing about Rod Marinelli's defense is he's not about just one guy getting 20 sacks. He's not about that. Like, he wasn't about that. What Rod Marinelli is about getting applied pressure, getting pressure from both sides. So guess what? They will set up the double team as long as you can get the sack on the backhand side. That's just being real. And the best thing to help D-Law is a defensive tackle. You want to know why? Because if he had a defensive tackle could eat up that tackle right here, which puts D-Law one-on-one. A one-on-one. That's just real. So, what do I think the Dallas Cowboys can do to get D-Law more free? What they're doing right now, they switched them to the other side. But guess what they do? They just switch the coverage to the other side. Teams are making sure. I think teams are really coming in. And to be honest with you, my boy Ross said this. My boy D-Law has that chopped block, that chopped cut, or whatever it is. My boy Ross told me flat out. He said, bro, every year, all the offensive coordinators and offensive coaches come together and they look at explosive moves and explosive players, and they talk about how to play and stop these players. Do you know what players they use as an exercise this year? Aaron Donald and DeMarcus Lawrence. That was told to me by a guy, one of these guys right here. Like, you cannot expect a guy to get $100 million and the NFL not figure out how to stop you. Like some of this stuff y'all got to be realistic about. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't, you know, I love y'all. That's why I engage with you. But god dang, man, sometimes some of this stuff you just got to be like, yeah, that makes sense, West Coast. Oh, my boy, hey, boss, I'm going to tell you someone who helped this game better than D Irvin, Malik Collins. When D-Law and Malik Collins were sitting right beside each other, D-Law even said in 2017 when he was off to the best start of his career, he had 4 sacks by game 3. He said, as long as my 3 technique keeps on eating up the blocks, then guess what? I'm going to be okay. That's what he said. That's what he said. So, guess what? If you want to fix, I know y'all don't want to hear it because you guys just think these guys are superhumans and they should just be able to, you know, your kid be halfway sick and now you can't even go to work. You know what I'm talking about? Little stuff in our life derail us and now, stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? But most importantly, my question is this, is the Dallas Cowboys defensive line coach, Rod Marinelli, and their DB back coaches, they all knew that this was going to happen at some point. What are they doing to adjust so that you can still make sure that your players are successful? So since he's not being double teamed, like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to say we give up? Like, I don't want to talk about nothing when it comes to fixing my defense unless you're talking about one of my D tackles playing better or us just flat out getting a whole nother one. You know what I'm saying? So, Read some of these comments. I don't got none. Julio says next Sunday night, Cowboys win versus the Eagles. You goddamn right. I'll be there in the building too. Marcus says nobody helped Tank game like D Irvin. Jamez says, hey, Mac getting doubled. AD is still making plays. Well, first off, Mac is a stand-up defense. Like, they don't even play the same position, man. Like, some of y'all just be so hard to make a point that you just be pulling anything. Like, you might as well say Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still making plays. Well, they don't even play the same position. Tell me how often does, like, that doesn't even apply. Like, bringing up Khalil Mack's name doesn't even apply. Khalil Mack does not put his hand in the dirt. So since you're not putting your hand in the dirt, when do you even get to be able to get double coverage? Khalil Mack and Von Miller are realistically pass rushers. They're not defensive ends. They're not linebackers. They're pass rushers. That's it. That's it. When does Mac put his hand in the dirt? Never. So you can't even bring him up. And then Aaron Donald said himself 2 weeks ago, I got to get going. Why? Because teams are figuring you out. That's just being real. Like, that's just being real. When you have great players, you have to develop a scheme that allows them to still be great. Why? Because it's these defensive coordinators' jobs to figure you out. Just like the RPO. Everybody said, oh, the RPO is going to take over the NFL. It's going to take over the NFL. And I kept telling y'all, no, it ain't. Why? Because them defensive coordinators get paid too. And they're going to figure it out. And once they figure it out, they're going to shut it down. Let's be real. They're going to shut it down. And that's what they do. Just like, think about this. Our offensive line was the greatest offensive line in the world until they figured it out. Mac does play it all, but show me a time when Khalil Mack consistently in a game is on a 3-tech, has his hand in the dirt, rushing the quarterback. You won't see it. Like, you won't see it. I mean, you don't have to believe it, but they figured it out last year. Like, just because you don't choose to believe it, don't mean it's not correct, though. See, that's the thing. You say my boy Kerry says, so they figured him out after he got paid. No, duh. You would figure someone out after they got paid, because when you pay someone, you're letting the NFL know that this guy is an elite player. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. Like, that's kind of how it works. Like, and Khalil, that's why I say, like, you want to compare, if that's, like, that's, they don't even play the same position. So, I mean, I don't even want to talk about that. All right, so Gentry says, I think if I'm going to stay up Sunday till 6 in the morning, they better win. Wendy says, yes, topic, they are actually trained not to. Jameer says, thank you, man. Does it all. Hand in the dirt. Khalil Mack does not have his hand in the dirt more than 10% of the snaps. And if he does, it's 1 or 2 times a play. So that does not mean. That's how I be knowing, man. I know I don't watch football as much as everybody, but I know I watch more football than anybody saying that. Because that's not even true. Some of these comments, I know. Howard said he's the real deal. I wish he had him. I mean, we don't really even need a Khalil Mack. Like, we have a formidable defense. Like, the only thing you really need to do is your defensive tackles to get back to playing elite like they were last year, or just flat out go get another one and just drop them in there. Like, that's what we need to do. But, I mean, it'd be so funny because, like, you guys want to talk about D-Log not being effective, but nobody wants to talk about how every single quarterback that we've played is not dropping back farther than three steps and getting the ball out. Like, did you guys notice how Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold, neither one of them took a 5-step drop back? Even on the deep play, that was a 3-yard drop back. 3 yards. We're the only offense that's dropping back 5 and 7 yards. Like, okay, that's a really good combination. Double team D-Law and get the ball out quick. You know what that prevents? Sacks. And the funny thing about it is, that's what we're doing. Like, that's literally what we're doing right now. Like, that's literally what we're doing right now. Like, that's part of the reason why because let's just be real. Can't nobody sit up here and try to say that our offensive line is playing ridiculously great right now, because they're not. That's not real. That's not even realistic. So if they're not playing ridiculously great, why aren't we getting sacked? Why isn't Dak getting sacked so much? Let me tell you why. It's because they're getting the ball out quick, and they're getting the ball out before the rush gets there. It's the same thing these other teams are doing. They're just doing it better, man. Yum says, so who would you trade to get a D tackle? Leonard Williams. I said it. Leonard Williams. Y'all seen him balling. And the best thing about it is their third overall pick was balling. The kid from Alabama, that boy was balling. Like, that boy is balling. So trade deadline is next week. You know, trade deadline is next week. So, you know, well, actually it's in 2. It's after week 8. It's right before week 8. So, you know, if we can get somebody in here before then we can get this thing better. But I'm gonna be honest with you, there is no magic fix. I like Leonard Williams. That's what I like. I like that he's a former first round pick. Still has great age. Was an All Pro in 2016. To be honest with you, he's really a 4-3. He's really a 4-3 defensive tackle playing a 3-4 defense, and he's being washed. You know what I'm saying? I think he would be I think Rod Marinelli get his hands on him. I think you have a good-minded kid and a kid that'd be very successful for your team. But we need to get that defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? But when you guys ask, where's Tank at? We paid him. Well, what's going on? Why isn't, like, that's the same question you ask Zeke. Well, Zeke, we paid Zeke. When you guys go, yeah, but they're not blocking. Okay, so what? Maybe they're doing the same thing for DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, man, I've been on here an hour, man. Y'all already know what it is. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys already know we don't always agree, but that's not the purpose of the show. We don't always disagree either, and that's not the purpose of the show. The purpose of the show is to get factual information out there so that we can all have factual and rational decisions about our teams and understand what we are talking about. I do agree we do need a kicker. We needed a kicker in the offseason. Why they haven't brought one in is just more reason on, you know, it is what it is, man. But we do need a kicker. My boy Al says, explain the difference between a lockdown corner and a ball hawk, difference in their training. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is no difference between a lockdown corner and a ball hawk. They are actually the same person. It's like, you know, potato and potato. It's the exact same thing. I think that people thought that there's a difference between the two because for whatever reason, people was calling Byron Jones a lockdown corner, and he's not. And he didn't get interceptions. Like, real. Like, Byron Jones is not a lockdown corner. He was not a lockdown corner last year. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn what PFF ranked him. He was not. And guess what? Today, I mean, this is showing the exact same thing. Like, he's not a lockdown corner. Ball hawk corners, lockdown corners, get the ball, man. They get their hands on the ball. Like, Deion Sanders is not known for his lockdown abilities. He's known for taking the ball. You tell me a great cornerback who didn't get his hands on the ball. There ain't no great cornerback, boy. You a linebacker. All right, last question, last thing I'm gonna talk on or talk before I get out of here. Kerry says, why are 4 straight games we have done nothing in the first half, and that's on the coaches or players alone? I think that's on both. But now when you say coaches, it's funny because we say coaches with an S, but the only name I promise you people are going to say is Jason Garrett. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Kareem? How you doing? I'm doing great. I wish we would trade for a defensive tackle. That'd make my life a whole lot easier. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I honestly believe. I honestly believe that part of the reason why we come, I mean, you know, we're not executing. Like, you can call the best plays you want, but you're missing plays, and then you running on second, you throwing the ball on second and third. I mean, you're running on third and 11. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Huma says, no, that's Moore's play calling. You absolutely right. Karina says, what do you think of the last matches, Dallas Cowboys? I think we could have played a whole lot better, and I think you will see the Dallas Cowboys play better and more inspired. this week. Even though I don't believe in all the inspired crap, I just said that because, if we win, people will automatically say we were inspired. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe they were being inspired. But, hey, man, you already know what it is, man. I'm going to let y'all go. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.